And thank you so much to Headstarter and Yasin, and especially Ibrahim for inviting me on. It's so amazing watching everyone else. And so I'm sure that there's a lot of students in here, community college or other kinds of students who are looking for summer internships. And that means strengthening your resume to include projects. You want to do, club activities and extracurriculars, but maybe you don't know where to start. And I want to like help emphasize that you should just take initiative on the things that you want to do. If you're afraid of what you're doing, I want to help break that ice down for you guys. So, things I want to talk about is just a brief background of who I am and what I kind of like to do, basic stuff. And then I want to break the bias of college name and help anyone who thinks that you need to get into a good university. You don't need to. It's all about the time that you make and spend at your college. So showing that doesn't define you. And then lastly, for anyone who does have ideas, or when you do get these ideas, it can be daunting to actually act on the ideas that you have. So I want to show you guys that your ideas aren't dumb, they're not stupid, they're not like valueless. They could be amazing goals. And I want to, I just want to share that kind of facts with you guys. So who am I and why am I? I'm a computer science major and I go to Riverside City College in California. I bet none of you have ever heard of it, and that's the point. And so I'm a semi-traditional college student because I'll be transferring to the University of California, preferably UCI. Not sure if there's any UCI grads out there. And then I really love AI. I know we were just talking about AI, and like low key, when I was watching the presentation with the head starter and the interviews, I was pretty much in awe because I've seen a lot of resources, but that's unlike anything I've ever seen. And I also like building Gundams a lot and Legos. I like building stuff in general, and that kind of translated into how I got into CS in the first place. So that's my Gundam collection there, if anyone likes any of that kind of stuff. And as I mentioned, I'm a community college student, and that doesn't bode well for a lot of people, and it's not a popular option, especially since so many people are focused on getting to Ivy Leagues and UCLA and top universities. But I've actually met some of the smartest people ever at my community college. One of my friends, who's the president of a coding club, he got into UC Berkeley, which is the top, most competitive public CS school in California. So it's pretty incredible. And ultimately, it just depends on how you spend your time there. Community college is not a bad place. You save a lot of money. I have never paid tuition before because they're just that generous. So don't be afraid of your roots. And more so now I want to, help break the bias, right? The college name, it helps. It helps to have Harvard or Stanford on your resume, but ultimately it depends on what you do with your time. And when I first got into college, I really had no idea what I was doing, like a lot of people. But I just knew that I wanted to invest my time in activities that I thought maybe helped. If I saw a club activity or a project, I just kind of joined it. I wasn't really sure I was getting into, and it ended up being a really great decision because I joined a lot of extracurriculars and it made the best of my time. So if you look at I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse, but this image all the way on the left, that was actually a club that I founded with some friends. Well, technically it was dead, but I helped revitalize it. And it's called the Tech Club. It's a long acronym, but we do all types of stuff that was tech there. So we did like C++ workshops for new students. We did hardware workshops. We also did robotics. We built cars. We built this car that could like auto sense. It drove itself, kind of like a Tesla using ultrasonic sensors, and it can navigate on its own. The middle picture is with a club from RCC as well called as ACM, and it's actually a national organization. It stands for Association for Computing Machinery. If you're in the US, you probably almost definitely like have heard of this. Maybe your school even has one, and if not, it's a chapter, so it's a national organization, so you can go start one. And in these pictures over here, we basically do competitive programming. It's like leak code, but in person and competitive. And so we would just meet up on random days, and then we would compete and solve problems. And eventually, we participated in this thing called the Intercollegiate Programming Contest. It's like I'm pretty sure there's regionals for it, but everyone in the room, you're all solving coding problems together. Again, like super competitive lead code. And I participated 3 years in a row, so it's pretty awesome. And then the picture on the right is just an instance of me working on my projects. I had a lot of time to myself because the classes at community college are arguably easier, so I had a little more time to myself to work on my projects. And eventually, when it came to the recruitment season of my first semester, I didn't want to apply because I thought I was stupid. I didn't think I had any kind of experience. But one of my friends from university really encouraged me to apply, and I applied kind of as a joke because I really didn't think I was getting in. But then after sending in my shitty resume, I ended up getting through the rounds, the interview rounds and the acceptance. And as you guys can see all the way on the right here, this is one of the first LinkedIn posts that I ever posted. And I was super proud of it because as a community college student, as sort of a non-traditional student, I had made it into Microsoft after my first year alone. And that's something that you guys can do too, regardless of your school. And this is when I visited the Microsoft headquarters, which is amazing, by the way. So in the following years afterwards, I took that as an initiative to just start joining a lot more stuff. And I joined, like, for example, these two pictures, this NASA picture, and this is me, a picture of me holding an astronaut glove. This is for a NASA project that I did over, I think it was last year. And again, didn't really know what I was doing, but I was on the AI team and we were building models with Python. It was super cool. And I got to go to Houston, Texas and do all that kind of stuff. And something that I did as of recently, which I'm super proud of and just amazed by, is that I was able to join a startup company as a software engineering intern. So one of my friends who takes clients, he decided to hire me because I started learning Android development through some nonprofits like CodePath. So that's my boss over here. He's also my best friend though, so I hang out with him a lot. And finally, for any of you guys who have any kinds of ideas, like any projects, let's say you do have some kind of business that you want to start on. I think it's really important to just do it. There's a lot of hesitations and you can get really nervous about a lot of stuff. But ultimately, you should just take the leap and do it because you never know what might happen. You might have 10 ideas, and maybe 9 of those are just used for traversing your path, understanding which subgenres of CS you want to get into. But that one idea, one of those ideas could really be the one where you strike gold and you make your breakthrough. And these pictures here, if you look on the left and the right side, those are like TikToks that I just made recently. I just got into like video content creation, and I mean, they kind of suck. They're my first few videos. But ultimately, I aim to drop free resources for anyone going through computer science or software engineering. So, I mean, if you guys want, you can even take a look at those because I drop them pretty much every day. And as for this in the center, this is one of the apps that I thought was like a dumb idea at first. And I thought like, people have already done it anyway. But then I went ahead and tried it anyway. It's basically an AI flashcard app because I just love AI. I'm obsessed. I'm addicted. And I built this for a program and for a code path class online. And I really didn't think it was a good idea. I thought it was too much or even like unusable. But I ended up creating it, placing it on my resume and putting it at the top of my GitHub profile. And a lot of people were amazed by it. So it was one of those projects that like if you have a product idea, just do it. Even if you think it's dumb or like if you're not sure it'll get you anywhere, just try it. And as a final conclusion, once again, if you have any kinds of ideas, let's say you want to build an AI app and you're not sure how to get into AI, build a roadmap for yourself. Just do it. You want to go get a job? Go interview. Try it out anyway. Ultimately, just do it. I know it sounds like patronizing sometimes, but literally that's all it takes. The hardest part of the journey is the start, and that's about it. And if you're in computer science and you're looking for more internships, I drop free resources every day on LinkedIn and the socials listed here. So if you guys want to check it out, I just drop stuff every day. So the handle's pretty much the same everywhere. And yeah, I really appreciate the panel at Head Starter. Thank you so much.
Man, what a great way to share your stories, man. I like the idea that you mentioned about building side projects. And instead of
Yeah.
me asking some questions, I want to answer because a lot of people are very hyped that you're here. So I'm just going to go reverse chronologically. Um, I don't get this. What if you enjoy problem solving and coding but don't have creative personal project ideas?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Stefan asks, what if you enjoy problem solving and coding but don't have creative personal project ideas?
Yeah, so I think the ideas is another strain that a lot of people have where they think they have something, but they're not really sure how to pursue it. Just start with that. That's your foundation. That's what you work with. If you want to make an app where you can connect with people, but you don't know what to do with those people, just start it because that can usually turn into something else. When you're coding, you will usually come up with features on your own, and that's largely how if we back up. Let me see, back up a slide. This app has, I think in the GIF, it has like 3 extra features that when I started, I had no intention of inputting. I just thought, okay, I'll just do this. I'll make it generate one flashcard and that's it. But often those ideas that's like if you don't have any ideas, just start with them, maybe get some inspiration, and they'll come to you eventually.